What is up, YouTube? Drystan Kreed, DK, coming at you to get it on with another YouTube video. This time we're going to go over this week's Monday Night Raw. So, getting right into things, we opened up the show with, so many names. It was Nia Jax with Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae, as well as Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, who will be one half of the Women's War Games match at Survivor Series coming up here at the end of the month. Interesting team, kind of an odd mix considering Liv and Nia just faced off at Crown Jewel. I think it's a good choice though. They were interrupted promptly by Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I've already stated how much I dislike those two, but we're going to ignore that for now. They were also joined by Naomi, who I kind of don't like, but she's not as bad as Jade and Bianca. Then Io. I like Io. Io's good. They came out to confront the other team, who we're going to call Team Liv, because Liv's clearly the leader here. Nia's close, but Liv's better. So Team Liv was confronted by those four, and they were told they were outnumbered, which they were, and then Rhea Ripley returned. I love Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is my favorite women's wrestler. Now, I did hear that she returned last week after the show went off the air, but she did come back anyway this week, making her official return. This left Liv Morgan looking frightened, to say the least. She wasted no time getting into the ring and laying out Liv Morgan. Now, Rhea was said to be out indefinitely with a fractured orbital bone after she got knocked out by Liv Morgan in that NXT parking lot. That was a pretty gruesome attack, but she's back early. I like this. It really builds her up as a strong performer. I think it's a great move just to make her seem even stronger than she already is. Now, so this is going to be our teams for the Women's War Games match. I'm taking Rhea, Jade, and Bianca, as much as I hate Jade and Bianca, as well as Io Sky and Naomi. Now, so that was our first segment of the night. Moving on. First official match of the night, mixed gender tag match. Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega versus Chad Gable and Ivy Nile. Always love Rey Mysterio matches. He's been doing great. He moves so well still for his age. He's pushing 50s now, and he still can do stuff that I couldn't even think of doing. Stuff I don't want to do. But on that note, Rey is getting older, which is sad to say, but it's true. And with him recently being inducted into the Hall of Fame within the last 2 years, and him working a lot of tag matches, I'm afraid to say that they're probably coming to like a end of Rey's career here. But that's okay. He is one of the legends in this business, especially for high flyers, greatest luchador of all time. And it's got me thinking, like, who's going to be Rey's retirement match? Because it's probably going to be happening here within 3 years. Probably it's going to be a Mania match. Dragon Lee would be a good choice for Rey's retirement match. If Ricochet wasn't in AEW, I'd say Ricochet. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get into the match now. This was a pretty solid mixed gender tag match. I'm not too big on mixed gender tag matches most of the time. This one was okay. We saw a lot of good high-flying stuff from Rey, as expected. We saw this big Hurricane Rana from Zelina Vega. Zelina's been doing really great recently, especially since she had that match with Rhea Ripley in Puerto Rico. That was actually like 2 years ago. But anyway, that was a great match. Another solid match for Zelina here, as well as Rey Mysterio. And also Chad Gable. Chad Gable did take the pinfall here. But boy, is he looking good here. We saw a lot of great selling from him, a lot of strong stuff from Chad Gable. Not much from Ivy Nile. The only thing I remember Ivy Nile doing is at one point in the match, Zelina would pull down the top rope for her to go over, and Ivy went through the middle. Anyway, so after that Hurricane Rana from Zelina, Rey Mysterio hit a 619 springboard splash, 1, 2, 3, quick win for the LWO. After the match, Chad Gable would give Julius Creed a few good slaps across the face. At first, I thought that they were going to break up Chad's brand new stable, but this actually proved to motivate both Creed brothers. I think this is some great storytelling here and going to be very big for American Alpha in the future. Now, here's why. See, when Chad Gable first started to show signs of going the wrong way, it completely broke Otis with his new, more intense criticism. But now with the Creeds, when he's yelling at him and giving him all this very harsh criticism, it makes them feel more determined, I should say. And this is going to prove to be a very dangerous faction if this continues. With the Creeds being more determined and ruthless, it's going to be a bad time for the Raw roster in the near future. We went immediately to a backstage segment featuring the Judgment Day. Liv, clearly very worried about Rhea Ripley, looks scared and possibly, I don't know, she's scared. Let's go with she's scared. Carlito and Dominic Mysterio have an upcoming match against the War Raiders. Finn Balor would instruct Dom to go after the Raiders' necks, saying that's their weak point. Once Carlito and Dom left, Finn Balor asks JD McDonough to go talk with him in private. Starting to see some cracks here in the new Judgment Day. Don't know what that could mean. It seems pretty early, but this could be due to Finn Balor's drive to be a leader when the OG Judgment Day didn't have leaders, and that's what broke them up in the first place. We're going to see how it goes. Following up that, we saw a vignette featuring Karrion Kross and The Miz. This was talking on how they attacked the Wyatt Six last week on Raw in quite the well-thought-out plan, because it worked. Miz acted to a T, and Kross was ruthless, taking out Bo Dallas. I love heel Miz. Heel Miz is amazing. Miz is one of the greatest heels of all time, top 5, and I stand by that. Kross is a great partner for The Miz here too, because they're both good heels, but they're both so different in the way that they work. And it's a great team, and I love the way they work together. Then, we would go to another backstage segment where Gunther was talking to Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser is a little angry with Gunther because Gunther's kind of losing his edge. And Gunther would tell Kaiser that he needs to go be his own man. Now, I think Kaiser's most certainly going to be going off on his own soon. And I'm pretty sure that Gunther's going to be dropping the title back to Damian Priest. Damian looks confident, and Gunther just isn't the same Gunther that we know. He's not the ring general anymore. And it's not going to end well for him. All right, next match, Intercontinental Championship bout with Sheamus taking on Braun Breaker. Another solid, hard-hitting Sheamus match, as we've come to expect here. A banger. Now, Sheamus has been looking great, getting back in shape from when he first returned. He's looking very good now. Much better cardio as well, I'm noticing. He had a few good moves, like a big knee, white noise off the middle rope. Lots of good stuff from Sheamus, as usual. And then Braun Breaker hit that crazy diving clothesline to the outside, and the Frankensteiner attempted a spear. And the match would end with Ludwig Kaiser interfering in the match, causing a DQ. He would take out both Breaker and Sheamus. I'm thinking this is going to lead to a triple threat, maybe? On the other side of things, Sheamus, actually, I was talking about Rey Mysterio getting older, but Sheamus is getting up there too. I'm hoping maybe he can win that Intercontinental strap before he retires. I'm pretty sure that's the last one he needs. He's been a world champ, a tag champ, United States. So the last one he needs is the IC title. I'm hoping he can get that before he retires. Moving on to Breaker. Now, I'm starting to notice something with Braun Breaker's matches. They're all kind of the same, right? Like, I think of Bill Goldberg. Goldberg in WCW, people will say, Goldberg matches go as follows. Spear, jackhammer, pin. right? With Breaker, it's diving clothesline, Frankensteiner, spear, win. So he has a limited move set, and it's kind of it's getting more noticeable with each match he has, right? He's got, like I said before, diving clothesline, Frankensteiner, and then he's got like the spear when he hits the ropes multiple times. He's got the spear on the outside. That's all I'm thinking of. I haven't seen him use the Steiner recliner very often, or ever. Not in the main roster. He should though. I just he's got the Steiner line, and I'm just struggling with like how his matches are starting to get just a bit repetitive. They're still good, but I think it's only going to get worse if he doesn't upgrade his moveset soon. The good news is he's young and he's got plenty of time to really get up there with his moveset, and I think he's going to get there. And Braun Breaker is a future legend. Following our title match, we went to 2 quick backstage segments. Well, one was a vignette, one was a backstage segment. We had the Bloodline still trying to recruit Seth Rollins. He wants none of it. And he did say that Reed wouldn't make it to War Games. And if that's true and Seth actually were to take out Bronson Reed, then the new Bloodline would have to find another guy, which would be interesting. I don't think that's going to happen, though. We're going to get to that when we get to that match coming up here. And then we had an emotional vignette from Dakota Kai talking about how she was injured and she finally got back. I'm hoping they got some stuff coming up for her. She's really talented, really. I hope things go well for Dakota Kai. Next up, Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and Carlito taking on the War Raiders. This was a very, very dominant match for the War Raiders. They destroyed Dom and Carlito, hitting the War Machine, they're calling it, which is that springboard-assisted clothesline. Crazy for guys their size, but again, very dominant win. Not much offense coming from the Judgment Day here. After the match, Finn Balor and JD McDonough would attack the War Raiders, which I'm assuming is what they were talking about backstage when Finn Balor said JD needs to talk to him. Clearly, they're trying to soften up the Raiders ahead of their tag match coming up. And if I'm right about the cracks appearing in Judgment Day, the War Raiders should take this match. Before we get into our main event, there was a video package from Bo Dallas. Now, at first, I thought this was Bray Wyatt. It was some old footage from before he passed. But it was actually Bo Dallas. And he's starting to look a lot and sound a lot like his brother. Solid video package. I liked what they did with that one. Next, we saw another video package. This one from Lyra Valkyria. Lyra's been gone for a while. I think her last match was, I don't know, it was some kind of, it was the Battle Royal, the Women's Battle Royal. She came second in that one. But I've been feeling bad for her because she came up from NXT and the crowd just wasn't feeling it at any match she had. She's really talented, but the crowd just wasn't with it. I think she needs to work on that character a little more. Give the crowd a reason to care, you know? And then finally, there was just some more on the New Day drama between Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. One of them's going to turn heel. It's just kind of, I mean, it doesn't have to happen, but it's just one of the things that have to happen, you know? New Day's another peak group that's getting up there in age, right? They probably have more time than like Rey Mysterio and Sheamus, but they are still getting up there. And with Big E gone, it's not the same New Day, right? It's not the same without Big E. If Big E comes back, it could be saved, but I don't know. This could be a crazy moment, breaking up the New Day. All right, finally, the main event of Monday Night Raw, Seth freaking Rollins versus Bronson Reed in a rematch. Now, early on in this match, the new Bloodline would interfere. I was not expecting this so early, but they were quickly detoured by the Usos and Sami Zayn, who brawled them out of the arena and left it just Seth and Bronson Reed. And from this point on, Seth got a bit of offense when he could, but it was mostly Bronson Reed. Every time Seth would get him down, he'd get back up or kick out at one. Seth was throwing everything he had at him. Springboard knees, springboard moonsaults, freaking stomps, pedigrees, and Reed kicked out of everything. The match would end when Solo Sikoa interferes, causing a distraction, as Seth was attempting a stomp from the top rope, and Bronson Reed hit him with a Death Valley driver. 2 sentons, and a tsunami, flattening Seth in the process. Now, there's a dominant win for Bronson Reed. It looked like Seth may have had a chance, winning the same way he won the previous match, but thanks to Solo Sikoa, he got screwed. Now, this could lead to Seth joining up like the OG Bloodline wants him to, or it could have an opposite effect where he gets as far away from them as possible. Now, I'm okay with Seth being the 5th man for the OG Bloodline. I was worried it was going to be Cody Rhodes, which I did not like. Thankfully, it's not. But if Seth doesn't join up, it leaves options. Of course, Cody Rhodes, which I don't really like. Maybe Zilla Fatu, if he's ready. And possibly The Rock. But I'm thinking it's going to be Seth if I know the WWE, and I think I do. So it looks like Seth's going to join because he got screwed by the Bloodline, and that will be our Men's War Games match. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, the Usos, and Sami Zayn against Solo Sikoa, the Tongans, and Jacob Fatu, along with Big Bronson Reed. Now, assuming this is our match, it's a hard choice. But with the tension between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, I don't see it happening. I'm gonna take the new Bloodline for War Games, assuming these are the teams, because of just the tension between Seth and Roman and a few others. Now, because I remember on SmackDown, Roman Reigns tried to contact Paul Heyman, and he didn't get an answer. Now, if Seth does decline, there is Paul Heyman who could make a call, because Paul Heyman is the wise man, and he has had a few clients and best friends. But we're going to have to see how this one breaks down. But assuming the teams are Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed as the 5th men, I'm taking the new Bloodline. All right. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your view. Hopefully I can get a video uploaded for Friday Night SmackDown coming up here. Have a good day.